Where to start with an absolutely brilliant card from Paris Longchamp on Sunday. Try and find you a few winners here on GG. And while we know we don't have a brilliant edition of the Arc, we do know that we have a very, very open one. I'll start with the favourite Luxembourg, and there's not a great deal you can really knock him with. I thought he won a proper good quality edition of the Irish Champion Stakes last time. The way he did it suggests that he's really going to appreciate the step up in trip. Aidan O'Brien said that he'd appreciate the step up in trip, so I don't think that's a doubt. I also think he'll probably be okay on the ground. My slight concern with him, though, is that in the words of his trainer, they had to do unnatural things. They had to work him really, really hard to get him to that big race at Leopardstown. So there's a chance he could just be a little bit over the top, only 3 weeks back into this race. But I do think he's got the profile of a horse that can certainly go on improving. He'll probably go to stud at the end of the season. They want that 1.5 mile win with him. I think he's capable in a field that really isn't all that strong. That said, I'm going to go against him. Aidan O'Brien has only won the Arc twice, let's not forget. And I think it could all be about last year's winner, Torquator Tasso. Of course, nobody really saw him coming last year. We all knew that he'd love the ground. He's drawn right out in the car park this time. That's not ideal. But the way he runs, it probably be okay. He was beaten in his prep last time, of course, by the opposing Mendocino. But they went very, very slowly. It was a muddling sort of race. I wouldn't worry too much about that. He's been trained very much with this Arc defence in mind all season. He's got a lot going for him, including, of course, Frankie on board. Plenty of others to talk about, though. I absolutely love Alpinista. I know they're a little bit concerned about the ground for her, but she, of course, has won her last 6, including 5 Group 1s, and beat several of these rivals in the Grand Prix de Saint-Cloud, which was very good form, although it was a while back. Now, the Yorkshire Oaks, we didn't really learn a great deal from that, apart from that she was fit and well. Wouldn't be a surprise for me if she was able to win this, because she's a filly who just doesn't seem to know when she's beaten. She keeps on finding more. Couple of other interesting ones in there as well, of course. Verdani, Christophe Soumillon very much in the headlines for the wrong reasons. This horse has the talent to win it. The one thing I don't like about him, he was obviously favourite to beat Luxembourg in the Irish Champion Stakes. This feels like an afterthought for me. They're maybe trying to dodge Baid. That's why he's not going to Ascot. We don't know that he stays. I think on pedigree he probably will. And I certainly think he's got the class. And after what's happened at Saint-Cloud, I think Christophe Soumillon will want to win it more than ever. And I certainly wouldn't put you off him if you like Verdani. But I'm just going to side with Torquator Tasso over Alpinista in the big one. I'll go through the rest of the Group 1s on Sunday's card, and they start with the Prix Jean-Luc Lagardere. Of course, this is for the 2-year-old colts over 7 furlongs. A few really interesting ones in here, but it could go to the Argo card again. And I was really impressed with Chartash's run last time out in the Group 1 National Stakes over at the Curragh. He just, I thought, travelled really well throughout the race. He battled on again once he was beaten by Al Rifa. And the way he did that suggested that this little step up in trip won't be a problem for him. I think that's stronger form than any of the French contenders bring in here. Breeze Sky was well fancied last time out. Was beaten behind Tigray, the filly, in the Group 3 Prix La Rochette. That is over course and distance, so they've got that going for them. But as I said, I think the Irish form here, that Group 1 form from Johnny Murtaugh's colt, is stronger. So Chartash for me in the Lagardere. The Boussac looks a really strong renewal. This is actually over a mile, the fillies juvenile contest. We've got 7 last time out winners here. And we could well see a win in the colours of Mohamed Al Shahi, because he runs the Group 2 Prix Calvados winner Wed in here. He comes in really good form. Trip a bit of a worry for me, though. She's out of a discreet cap mare, so you wouldn't really have thought that the soft ground is going to be what she particularly likes. And Kalina will be the favourite, and I think rightly so. She's 2 from 2. She's won over 8 furlongs, so she's got the trip tick, and she has won on soft ground. And last time out, she was much the best, despite being very, very keen early on. So she's the one for me, Kalina. But another one to mention, again, on that heavy ground, soft ground angle, Habana won a Group 3 in Germany on the soft last time out. Form probably not quite good enough, but she was quite an emphatic winner on that occasion. She might be interesting at a slightly bigger price, but Kalina in the Boussac. On to the Prix de l'Opera, and Nashua has just done nothing wrong all season. She's the best filly in here for me. Her dam was a jaw winner on soft, so you've got to hope that she will be able to handle it, but obviously it is a little bit of a concern. If she doesn't win, it's probably going to go to Above the Curve. He's already a Group 1 winner in France. That came in the Prix Saint Allery. She won the Blandford Stakes last time on soft ground, and I think she is a really tough filly. Has had a fair fairly light campaign. If there's a chink in Nashwa's armour, above the curve can probably exploit it. On to the Abbey, not a strong renewal. Someone described it as a Group 3 event, and I wouldn't really disagree. A case of you, last year's winner, won it in similar circumstances, heavy ground, then went to Dubai and won the Al Quoz Sprint. Bit of a rail bias on that day, and he's really done very little in a couple of starts since. I thought he looked fantastic last time out ahead of the Flying 5 Stakes at the Curragh. No sort of race, very, very disappointing. He's also drawn in 19, and he has the stats against him. You've got to go back to 1993, 1994, Loxong for the last horse to win this race twice in a row. You've also got to go back even further than that to 1978 for the last time a 2-year-old won it, which is what the Platinum Queen's trying to do. She's really, really fast though, and I quite like her here for the Midland Park team. So I wish them the best of luck with her, but really could go on forever. There's very few you can rule out because there's no standouts in this. I quite like Mitbahi. I feel that he's a really improving sprinter, and he just does enough. He's got ground on, he's got form on soft ground as well. And Pontos, who is a course and distance winner, gets Frankie Dettori, likes the soft ground. He's a bit of an in and out performer, but I think he's one who could go well at a bit of a price as well. But really no firm opinion on the Prix de l'Abbé. Maybe we'll root with the Platinum Queen to make a little bit of history and win it as a 2-year-old. One more race to have a look at, the final Group 1 on the card for the thoroughbreds, and this is the Foret. Kinross is the one to beat here for sure. Rafe Beckett, whether it's because so many of his horses go well on soft ground or whether he just really gets them geared up for the autumn, I don't know, but he's deadly in October. He's got Kinross in here, as I mentioned. He was 4th in the race last year. He comes in really great form. He's won his last 2. He's a proper 7-furlong horse. It looks between him and Tenebrism. She's won on good to soft. She hasn't won on anything heavy like this, but her Damn Immortal Verse won on soft. For me, it's Kinross or Tenebrism in the Foret. I'm just going to go with Kinross in that one. Brilliant card, Paris Longchamp on Sunday. Can't wait.